Hi y'all, I'm Tamara and this is Idratherbeestitching. Today is June 30th and this is Flosstube number 24. And before I start anything, I just want to let you know that today I have the fan in a different place, so hopefully it doesn't pick up on the recording like it did through the whole video last time. But I'm super excited today, so I want to jump right in. I just realized why I can't see anything. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I've tried to make it a lot more organized. Hopefully it won't be so crinkly and everything as last time. But the first thing I want to show you that I'm really excited about, this is not the exciting one. So I've joined Stitching with Charlie for the Just Finish It June and July, and I was unpacking in our spare room and I came across a couple new frames that I didn't know I had. So the first fully finished that I did was Dancing Queen. This is not an epic frame like what I want, but I needed a quick win because if you've been here for any length of time, you know that I don't usually fully finish things. So this was my quick win. I just popped it in a frame. It's not even the best framing job because I didn't have the right kind. I didn't have the sticky board, and so the board that I used, it's not holding it in. It's a deeper frame apparently than what I thought. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of like sagging in. So I do have plans at some point to find a really epic frame and reframe this. But for now, it's sitting on the shelf and it looks pretty cool. So there's that. My second fully finish, I'm actually going to pop a video in because this was the little frog piece that I had almost fully finished for my last video, and I fully finished it. And but I gave it to my bonus child Casey, and she came by I don't know, a couple days ago or whatever, and hung out for a little bit, and I gave her that. She loves it. And then she taught me how to tangent. She was teaching me how to crochet in the little magic loop or whatever it's called, which I've never mastered yet. So she was teaching me that, which was cool. Anyway, so that little video that I'll insert now is going to be my second fully finish. Hi y'all. I just wanted to do a real short clip to show you a fully finish that I did for Stitching with Charlie's Just Finish It June and July. I finished this for my bonus child Casey, and she's supposed to come by tomorrow and get it. So I wanted to show you guys before it's gone. Excuse me, this is my first fully finished thing in this style. I've never done a little hangy-do thing before, so I'm really excited about how it came out. All I had, from the last time you guys saw it, all I had to do was stitch the two panels together and then add this little trim. And this is chenille yarn, and I cheated and I just used tacky glue to put it on there, so I didn't have to try and figure out how to stitch like through it or over it, because I don't know how any of that works yet. So this is my first little ornament thing, and she's supposed to come by tomorrow and pick it up. So I just wanted to show it to you before it was gone because I love it. All right, back to the regular me. Bye y'all. Okay, so now those are my only two fully finishes, but on a really exciting note, I have, pardon the wiggle if I bump the camera, I have a finish. Well, no, I have two finishes. I'm so excited. This is my first finish. This is a free pattern by the Blue Flower. I don't know if it's still available because I've had it in my stash for a while. It's called the Moo the Merrier, and I did my own color conversion, so I'm bringing it in a lot closer. And this was a strange pattern. I'm not trying to insult their patterns. This is the first time I've ever done a Blue Flower. And I like the pattern, but these flowers, see there's 3 of these reddish ones. Those were charted in different colors. And then these kind with the 4 petals, I think there's 4 of them in here. Yeah, there's 4 of them in here. They had it charted 3 different ways. And then there were just little things like that that weren't balanced. Oh, there's little tiny ones. There's 5 of these little tiny ones. They had those charted with 3 different colors. That didn't make sense to me. I like balance. I like, I don't know. I don't know, but I didn't like that. So the ones that were the same kind of flower, I did in the same colorway, except for these 4, I did it in 2 different ways. So there's 2 yellow and 2 of the white. And I just like that a lot more. So I picked my own colors. This is all DMC variegateds. And this took me 15 days to do, start to finish. And it was my focus piece. No, it was a focus piece, but what I meant was this is the one I picked to be my daily 30-minute stitch. But I was having so much fun stitching it that there were days that I didn't do anything but this. In fact, there were 13 days of the month that I literally only stitched on this. So I was having a lot of fun with it. But I started this for Catherine of Counting My Stitches. She had a Joy B-Day sale for June, and this is the one I started. And it definitely brought me a lot of joy this month. Definitely. And I already have fabric and stuff picked out to fully finish it, so hopefully that won't take forever. And as of last night, I have a second finish. This is the Azalea Biscornu that I started last year. It's not really focusing very well. I'm trying to bring it in. There's little tiny mill hill beads in this, and I don't know if it's coming through. I guess it is a little bit. In the center, there's like 8 of them. So that's the front part of it. And then the back part of the Biscornu is this one. And again, if you've been here for a while, you know that there's all kinds of backstitch lines and little designs on this and on that. And I didn't like that, so I left all of that off. I like it like this. I think it looks good. There's beads here, and there's 1 bead in each corner with the stitches, but it's not really focusing. So anyway, I'm super happy about that, because I don't know why I started this in June of last year. It should not have taken me a year to finish it, but it did. So those, oh, and I worked on the Azalea Biscornu for 2 days, and the frog, to fully finish that took me 1 day. Okay, whips. So after I finished the Moo the Merrier, I switched to, oops, hold on, I have a needle, pardon me. I'm gonna stick myself with that. I switched my focus piece, I switched my daily 30 piece to this summer sampler. And this is how far I've gotten. And actually I worked on this one for 6 days this month. And I'm loving this. These are really easy stitches. This is on 14 count, so that makes it even easier. I don't know. I'm really enjoying the more simple things. I didn't tell you guys that the Moo the Merrier, this was on 11 count, which I have only ever done on a stamped project, but I have a lot of it that I inherited from my mom. So I dyed it this light blue, and I stitched 3 strands over 1 square with that, since it was 11 count. And then this one is, gosh, what is this? It's 25 count Lugana, and I can't remember if the color is, I think the color is just called Natural. So that's that one. And then this one is just a 14 count pink. I didn't dye this one. This was just another piece from my mom's stash. So I had a lot of fun with this. I'm still having fun with this one. This is now my daily 30. But again, there's been, I don't know. I'm not stressed. Just I'm trying to adjust to being an empty nester. And so these easy fabrics that most people don't like the 14 count Aida, that's my comfort fabric. That's what I've stitched on for most of the past 40 years because I didn't know that any other fabrics existed. Because my mom had so much of it, when she gave me everything, I just literally stitched from that. I stitched from that and a bunch of free patterns, and I had 2 pattern books that I used that had minis, and mostly that's all I ever stitched because I had 6 kids and I was homeschooling them, and I didn't have much of a budget or the time for bigger projects. But since Gabby has basically moved out, I mean, her furniture is still here, but she's basically moved out. So I've just kind of, I guess, fallen back on these comfort fabrics that are easy stitched. They make me happy, and it's kind of sad, you know. I've only ever, as long as I've been an adult, I've had children. My husband and I started having children when we were teenagers, so we've never not had kids. So it's an adjustment. It's pretty nice, but it is also an adjustment. Y'all don't need to know this. I'm sorry. The point is, I'm enjoying these 14 count Aidas that most people are like, most people poo-poo 14 count fabric, if I'm being honest, 14 count Aida. But it's what I know and am most familiar and comfortable with, so I'm enjoying it. So my last work in progress is this Haunted Lighthouse. Hold on, let me get a different board. It's the Haunted Lighthouse, which I've been stitching with, oh goodness me, hold on, let me remember. Katie, Jeremiah's mom, Lisa stitching with Lou, who's in the comments, Michael from Uplift Stitches, and Catherine of Accounting My Stitches. We're all doing this Haunted Lighthouse. I've only worked on this 2 days this month, but I did a lot more of the cloud over here on those 2 days. And I really like this project. It is harder to see, not only because it's a black perforated paper, which kind of mimics black fabric, it's difficult to stitch on, but also these dark grays, I have to have light coming from like 3 different directions to see the holes and these dark threads on this dark thing. It's interesting, but I really love it. It looks so good with those clouds. So there's that I've been working on. How many days did I say I worked on that? 2 days, so not much, but okay. And then the last, well, this is a new start, so I think that was all of my whips. Yes, that was all my whips, because what I've actually been trying to do is just finish things. Thank you, Charlie, for the motivation. But the last piece is a new start that has a tiny bit of a story. So I told you guys in a little clip that I had to insert in the last Flosstube that we had our granddaughter for several days this month. It was the beginning of the month, so it seems like ages ago now. But she was here, and she's 5. She just turned 5, and I've lost my train of thought. Let me caffeinate real quick, just a second. It's early. Okay. So she was here, and in the mornings, well, all the time throughout the day, my husband and I like to spend a lot of time sitting outside. Just getting air, getting sun, enjoying the day, enjoying the birds, the squirrels, all of that. So when we go out in the morning, I usually take my knitting, the socks, and I just knit a few rounds, and And then when we, eventually come back in, and we're in and out because of the dogs, but we like to sit out there for a while whenever we take them out. But, so Nova is, she's a sweet girl. She's a good girl. She likes to sit and play, and normally she's very active. But normally she's kind of oblivious to whatever I'm doing. So, I did the knitting outside and she was fine. She just run around doing things. And then when I come inside, occasionally I can cross stitch when I'm not actively playing toys with her and stuff. I'll cross stitch a little bit. And I told her and her brother like a couple of years ago that I would make them a cross stitch piece. It might only have been a year, I can't remember. And I already bought, I think I bought both of the patterns already that they picked out. And she picked this adorable bunny, and I'm gonna have to pop a picture in because I don't have a cover page. And I had it kitted up to start for her, and I just hadn't done it because of all the new starts I'd done. And then Amy from Harpy Stitch did a de-stash video, and there were some vintage fabrics that she had and some other things that she had that I wanted, and I bought them. One of the fabrics, this is a long way of saying, one of the fabrics was this vintage 14 count Ada with these pretty pink flowers on it. And it was the right size for the project that my granddaughter picked. So it's called Bunny Friends. I don't remember the name of the Etsy shop off the top of my head, but I'll put it in. And you'll see it looks different, and that's because when I started stitching the first arm, the bunny was the same color as the fabric. It blended right into the fabric. You couldn't see it at all. So I picked several other bunny colors out and let Nova pick. At first I had to show her bunnies because she wanted a pink one. And I said, I don't want to put a pink bunny on this because her dress is pink and the flower is going to be pink and these are all pink. And I said it would be too much to put a pink bunny on it. So I showed her pictures of real bunnies and the different colors that they could come in. And she picked this one that I'll pop a picture in. She picked this bunny, and I tried to find a DMC that would match it. It's not easy. So this is the color of the ones I pulled out. This is the color bunny she changed it to. Also, because it was such a bright pink dress, I had to pick a different pink that would actually not clash with this pink. So we've done a little bit of color conversion. But also, she decided that when I was working on it, she wanted to stitch on it too. She wanted me to teach her how to do it. And so I did. I was teaching her. She was doing it. I used a sharp needle, but she still did a really good job. She didn't poke herself at all. And I'm going to put a picture in because she is totally adorable while she's doing this. That's why there's not that much. But also, don't judge me for the clothes I'm wearing. I wasn't expecting to be photographed that day. I've already clipped out some of it because I was in my, it's 90 degrees and I'm a housewife. I'm not going anywhere close. So I clipped most of it out, but it's pretty rough looking. But she's so cute. And I was so excited that she wanted to learn to do this. So we worked on this all 3 days that she was here. And then after she started that, the next day when we went out in the morning to take the dogs out and I took my knitting out, she asked me to teach her knitting. So I will show you that in the end when I do knit and crochet, and I didn't get any pictures of it, but she asked me to teach her knitting at that point, so that was awesome. Okay, so that is all of my cross stitch projects. I have a quick haul segment. The last video I had this piece of haul. I forgot all about it because it's digital. I don't have any of it printed yet, and I don't have fabric or anything. Pardon me, but I got this pattern. I think it's just called Scooby-Doo. I got an email from Thread Geeks, however long ago it was, a couple of months ago, and they send emails with new patterns and things like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that Scooby-Doo pattern. And I'm like, but I'm not going to get it. That's crazy big. And so I went on Etsy and was looking for Scooby-Doo patterns, and there are no good Scooby-Doo patterns on Etsy. They're very like cheesy looking. No insult to the designers, but if you looked at this pattern picture that I just put up, this is an epic Scooby-Doo pattern. It's beautiful. I'm a longtime fan of Scooby-Doo. I love all the Scooby-Doo. But the original, this Scooby-Doo is obviously my favorite. And I even own the DVDs. Yes, I love Scooby-Doo. So I was like, oh my gosh, that pattern is gorgeous. I love it so much. But there's no way. It would be madness to do something like that. You know, I don't stitch large projects very well. So I didn't buy it. And then, I'm not even kidding, the next week they sent me an email saying these are all the patterns that are about to be retired at the end of this month. And of course, the Scooby-Doo was one of them, and so I immediately had to buy it. I needed this pattern, you guys. I needed it. My soul needed it. But this pattern is 999 stitches wide by 558 stitches wide. Yes, that is massive. That, I don't even know, the stinking bluebell piece that I'm doing for the Heaven and Earth stitch along this year that I'm not doing very well on because it's so big, that pattern is only 250 stitches wide by 350 tall. And this one is almost 1,000 wide by 558 tall. So I don't know when I'm going to start it, but it has been haunting me for at least a month now since I bought it, maybe a month and a half. It's seriously haunting me. And once I start it, I might never in my lifetime finish it because it's so massive. But you know what? I don't care. I love it so much. So I bought it, and when I finally succumb to the temptation, I will buy fabric and I will start it. And you guys will be the second to know because obviously I will be the first. But so that is part of my haul. I also got a bunch of flosses. These are just colors that I'm using in various projects that I was almost out of or completely out of. So I finally grabbed those. I had to get Gabby to go to Hobby Lobby for me because she was going with her boyfriend for some stuff and I just haven't been able to get there. So she picked it all up for me and she came home to visit yesterday, so I got my stuff. I got these alphabet beads. This is a little hack that I saw that I want to share with you guys real quick. It doesn't have anything to do with cross stitch though, but it has everything to do with knitting or crochet. If you take these little metal kind of, what are these called? Stitch markers. You can take the letter bead of a crochet hook that you're using and you can put the bead on this and attach it to your project and not ever forget what size crochet hook you're using. How cool is that? Do you know how many cross-stitch or crochet projects I have that are in progress? You guys don't know about them because it's been that long since I've worked on them, but when I see them I'm like, oh my gosh, what size hook was I using for that? How cool is this? So I have alphabet beads and this now, and I can keep up with what size I'm using. So I'm really excited about that. And the last bit of haul that I got are these peel and stick felt sheets, which Gabby bent to put in the bag. I wasn't happy about that, so I've had them sitting under some heavy books. Hopefully they'll flatten. But I didn't know peel and stick felt existed until one of the most recent Flosstubers I've been watching said something about, yeah, the peel and stick felt that I always use. If you're the one who said it and you're watching, I'm sorry for not remembering who said it. But I didn't know peel and stick felt existed, so that is pretty cool. But I'm preparing to fully finish some more things, so I needed those to try. Okay. I do have notes today, and they're much better notes. So, just final stats for cross stitch for this month. I had 5 no stitching days whatsoever, and I had 13 days of the month where all I did was stitch on the Moo the Merrier. So, so some of those other projects don't have a lot of progress. I actually had 2 other projects that only got 1 day, and by 1 day, I mean they might have gotten 20 or 30 minutes, and it just wasn't even worth showing. So they don't count. I do have recommendations this month for floss tubers. I have 3. The first one is Wisteria Stitch. I can't remember if I've ever recommended her before. I have watched her for some time. She doesn't film very regularly like me. She I think tries for once a month, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So I don't know if I've ever recommended her, but I really like her channel. A new one, I think she's actually a new floss tuber, is Stitchy Laney. She was recommended by another person that I watch all the time, who I also don't remember who it was. So I went over and checked her out, and I do like her variety of projects and stuff, and she seems like a sweet lady. So I have been watching her, and then there's another one that I just really like this lady's energy. Her name is Victoria Marie. Her channel is Victoria Marie Crafts and Hobbies. She has a huge following. She is a multi-crafter, so she's had videos for a long time, but she just started an actual floss tube. I think she only has 2 floss tube videos. She has great energy. She has some nice projects, and I just, more than anything, I really like her energy. So those are my recommendations for now. For plans, okay, so for July, the Stitching Owl, Karen, is doing Stitch an Owl, so it can be an actual owl, or it can be an owl force embroidery project. I have 4 owl force embroidery projects, so I will show those to you real quick. These are the ones that I'll be picking from. It doesn't mean I'm going to stitch on all of them, as you know by the last 2 months of plans I had that didn't quite it didn't quite go the way I thought they would. I thought I would work on all the summer projects for this past month, and I just wasn't feeling it. So there is my 100 owls. There you go. So there's that one that I have, and then I have this one is Pride and Prejudice Pemberley. Pride and Prejudice is my favorite book and favorite movie of all time. The one with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden, I think is his name. I could be wrong on that name. Anyway, Pride and Prejudice Pemberley. And then I have Summer in the Village, which I did not work on at all yet this summer. It's a very tiny start. Little bunny that you can barely see. So Summer in the Village. And then I have this Swan Lake kit, which was a birthday present from my daughter last year. I think it was last year. It might have been the year before at this point. I don't know. But I love this fabric. This is the first time I've ever had an Owl Force embroidery kit, and I just love the fabric and the floss. They're both amazing. But it is folded, so that is my start on Swan Lake. That is the main ballet guy's legs, and that is the first leg of the main ballerina. So those are my Owl Forest kits. So that is for Karen the Stitching Owl, her birthday. And then, let's see, I will also be restarting my Quaker flag that I started for the 250th anniversary of our country, but I will be restarting it, and so I will do that project. I didn't pull it out though because it's going to be a restart, so there's nothing to show yet. Also, Michael from Uplift Stitches is doing a Snoopy summer. I have 3 Snoopy projects that I found on Etsy, or 3 patterns, and I'm torn between the 3 because one is very summery, one he's sleeping on the moon, which is too cute, and the other one is Snoopy as a Red Baron, which is my all-time favorite version of Snoopy. Like, I even have the the PlayStation 2 video game, Snoopy versus the Red Baron or whatever. I love that game, and when we were unpacking recently, I found it, so I was playing it recently. So I'm not sure which of those 3 I'm going to get, if I'm going to get any of them, because I was really trying to keep with this momentum that I have for finishing things, thanks to Charlie. So I'm trying to stay with that momentum and work on finishing things rather than starting new things. But I do like the Snoopy patterns, and it's really a lot of fun stitching things with other people. So I might take part in that. And my other plan for cross stitch is Patchy Pony Stitcher is starting a thing. She's supposed to start it on July 1st, called a fortnightly floss off. She said it's basically, there's 26 fortnights in a year, 26 letters of the alphabet. So she's going to pick one project for each fortnight that starts with that letter. Like there will be a project, and it's either the name of the project or the name of the designer has to start with that letter. So I have already gone through my whips and assigned projects to all of those, but I'm going to be honest, I don't have anything for Y or Z right now. But I'm planning on participating in that. It's for the whole year, starting July 1st through next year. That's a long commitment. Other than my marriage, I'm not very good at staying committed to things for that long. So we'll see how that goes. But I did make my chart of projects, and I am really looking forward to doing that. And you're supposed to work on that project for the 2 weeks. Obviously, that will not be the only thing I work on for those 2 weeks, because I am not that monogamous usually. So let's see, that is all of my plans for July. That's all of the cross stitch stuff I have. I do have a little bit of knit and crochet if you want to stick around and see that. And if not, that's fine. But so thank you for stopping by, and let me get right into the knit and crochet. So for knitting, I have been working on a pair of socks for summer sock camp. My goal, the summer sock camp goes till the end of August. I set basically 2 goals. I wanted to finish the second of each socks for the ones I did. So I did a blue and a green sock already. I want to finish the second one of each. So this is the blue one that I've been working on. This is actually the cuff. I think yesterday, did the heel turn. So now it's ready to start the gusset pickup, and then the foot and the toe and all that. So I made pretty quick progress on this compared to how fast I usually knit socks. So I'll have this one, then I'll have to do a green one, and then my second goal is to knit an entire shorty pair of socks. So that's my first knit project. The second one is, this is a haul that I had last month. I got these smaller Chow-Goo needles. This is a 9-inch, which I've never used. I'm terrified my stitches are going to fall off and then I won't know what to do. But all I've done so far is cast on the first sock. And then I realized that the tutorial video is different when you're doing it on these little ones than it is for the big one. Because when you have these big needles, or the long chaogu, you have basically needle 1 and needle 2, and you have the front part of the sock on one side and the back part of the sock on the other. So the tutorial is different, and I haven't sat down and watched how to go beyond this because there's no front and back. It's all one big thing. So that's all I've done. I cast on the first of my shorty socks, and that is the reclaimed yarn from the shirt that I tore out. So there's one more knitting project. Where is it? It's hiding. Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. It's so little. Okay, this is the one that Nova, my granddaughter, started. She picked this yarn. This was just a little ball of yarn I had. And yes, I do have child knitting needles. Look how cute they are. So this is a little washcloth that she started. She did not knit all of this. I think she did 2 or 3 rows, but she rage quit because so it takes a lot of hands when you're first learning. You hold the needles, then you need a hand to do the wrapping, okay? She was sitting in my lap, she did the needles, she was putting the needles in, twisting them, doing all that, but I was doing the wrapping so that she wouldn't drop it. And she thought she could do it by herself, including the wrapping part, and I said, well, I don't know if you could do all of it yet because you're so new. And so she got mad because she's very smart, she's very good at stuff, and like me, she's not good at not being good at stuff. So she rage quit, and she did go back to it later and stitch another row. But in between, when I was just sitting there, I was like, oh no, but could I knit on your little washcloth? And she said yes. So I did the rest of that. It was only about, I don't know, 6 or 7 rows, and she did 2 or 3 of them. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I love passing on things to the next generation. And she's so stinking cute. So anyway, that's all for knitting. For crochet, I did have the craft thing that is held once a month at our local library, and I got to go this time. I had missed a couple of months because it kept falling on the same weekend as when we game with our kids. We do a role-playing game on Discord because they're not all local. So we do that. We actually do it every 2 weeks, usually when everyone can show up. So we do miss them occasionally because of various people's schedules and stuff. But we do try to do it every 2 weeks. But it kept falling on the same as one of those weekends, and I don't want to be the one who's not showing up. So I finally made it to the little crafting event, and the lady who runs it said they had a lot of stuff donated, like a lot of yarn and stuff. So she brought a whole bin out, and she said, you guys can have whatever you want here. So of course, we all like rushed to it, and I got these 2 big skeins of yarn and this little one, and decided, oh man, I really want to knit or to crochet some granny squares. And I had gotten a book already of granny squares, like a year of granny squares from the library. There's so many great patterns in it, but I said, well, maybe I should start with a basic granny square, which I've never done. So I came home and I picked some colors and I crocheted a granny square, my very first ever, which I love. Whoops. And these are just sugar and cream skeins that I got from my mom. And I did a second one the very next day, which I didn't weave in the ends yet. So I did a second one of those, and then I did one using the yarn that I had just gotten. And I did one of them the day of the thing, which was a Sunday, and then the very next day I did the next two. So they're pretty quick. I was surprised. So that's all I did. A variety of projects, but I had a good month. Even though I missed a lot of crafting, that's fine. But yeah, so that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll get notified. And I am planning on filming a whip parade this week. I've been prepping for it, so if the plans don't change, I will be filming that, I guess Friday, which is not a good day for me to film. So that might, I might actually have to postpone the whip parade till next week. But either way, keep an eye out for it. I will be filming one. I know it's late, but better late than never. And thank you so much for stopping by. Bye, y'all.